24-year-old Joe Berardi has come out of the wings and upset Pete Couture in our semifinal game, 213 to 199. And now it'll be Berardi going against Earl Anthony in the final game, worth $21,000 to the winner, $11,000 to the loser. And now warming up is the winningest of them all in Professional Bowler Association titles, the 31 Earl Anthony. Warming up in this final game, he was the tournament leader by 598 pins, and regardless of where he finishes today, first or second, he will take the lead in money earned here in 1979.
Chris, two things. Earl Anthony led by the second largest amount ever on a professional bowling tournament. He led by over almost 600 pins. The record is held by Jeff Mattingly. He did that in Tucson last summer. And one other thing, Earl is still practicing. A lot of people here think he's bowling. The tournament leader gets 6 practice balls. The challenger, Joe Berardi, gets 0. So they're all set. U.S. Open title online. Also, Firestone for Berardi.
32,000. 21 to the winner, 11 to the loser. Berardi, who has just gained the victory over Pete Couture, who had won 2 prior matches. Berardi 213, Couture 199. All but the 7.
Nice shot by Berardi. Kept it in play and let the power go to work. Didn't quite get all the pin action he's looking for, but it was a very good shot to start this crucial final match. A lot of pressure out there. The money is almost secondary when they're out there thinking about that now. The U.S. Open title on the line. Look out. Ooh.
All right. Now with a spare in the first frame, for the first time today, 40-year-old Earl Anthony from Kent, Washington. He and Berardi had the only 2 300 games bowled this week. So smooth.
So confident, Chris. Here's the ideal style, but we've seen it so many times. But you know, Earl said something to me last week. He had 30 titles up to last week. He said he had lost a little confidence, and last week's win, number 31, helped him regain his confidence. Look at that just beautiful position. Look at that knee bend, foot perpendicular to the foul line, steady follow through. So confident, even among the great pros. That's great. That's so important.
Leaving a 6-pin, 40-year-old Earl Anthony, who's been a PBA member 11 years. And the crew cut, Earl Anthony.
1970. Earl's been a member 11 years, but he didn't participate on the tour until full-time until 1970. It's quite a record he's amassed over the last 8 years.
7th appearance on our telecast this year. So for Anthony, it's a strike and a spare in this final match. Live coverage from the Bradley Bowl in Windsor Locks, Connecticut. Now Berardi with a spare up, shooting in the second frame. Powerful ball.
Joe Berardi, we always thought he'd be a great star on the tour when he came out when he was 18. Hasn't produced until this year, and he's really bowling well, and I asked him, what is the difference?
Well, Bo, the reason I feel I'm bowling better this year is because I think I'm bearing down a lot more. I'm trying to make good shots. When I get into the finals, I'm not looking back. I'm just trying to make my best shots and work real hard.
All right, a chance to double right here. And he is stroking his best shots with a double now in this final game. Anthony is up with a spare working, shooting in the 3rd.
Earl Anthony trailing by 10.
Leaving a 7.
The solid 7, the lefty's answer to the solid 10. Watch this ideal style of Earl. 2 things to watch. His shoulder and his arm position, how it doesn't waver laterally at the top of the swing. Now he brings it back. Now he'll come back along that exact same line. See right there? Now watch, it won't go left or right. It'll go right back straight through. Just a little reline and straight through. There's So many people, Chris, have trouble when they get the ball behind them. They can't see what they're doing, and they move that ball left or right, subconsciously directing it. Earl Anthony has confidence in his swing.
Player of the Year 3 straight times.
But as the scoreboard shows, Joe Berardi 11 ahead.
And Anthony coming back after a heart attack last June. Near perfection. Earl Anthony and Joe Berardi in our final match.
Pro Bowlers Tour moves to Palatine, Illinois for the $100,000 Midas Golden Challenge. Bowling's finest professionals go head-to-head, 3:30 Eastern and Pacific, 2:30 Central.
The very first director of the Professional Bowlers Tour telecasts, and for many years thereafter, Mr. Jackie Lubell, now the Squire from Granbury, Connecticut. Glad to see him out here, Nelson.
Enjoys the action every year here, Chris. He wouldn't miss it. Berardi, 11-pin lead, 4th frame, double working. Joe disturbed a little bit. Somebody moved on a chair. It's dead silence in this bowling lanes. You could hear a pin drop or a chair move. Good move by Joe. Just back off the approach. Shows a lot of maturity right there.
Oh, that's a three-bagger. He is really coming on strong here in this championship match.
And solid strike. Just watch these 10 pins be electrified by the ball. Straight up, like they're on a string. Berardi's mother and father, I've ate pasta over at their house many a time.
Co-owner of a pro shop with Joy, really loved that 4-bagger, and boy, that puts pressure now on Earl Anthony, who has a strike up. He'll be shooting in the 5th frame.
Earl, who just recently signed as the pro up at Sports World Center in Kent, Washington, has his back to the wall. 31 pins, and it's only halfway through the game.
And again, a 7.
Chris, you'd think that a guy who won a tournament last week would use the same ball again this week, but Earl struggled earlier in this tournament and drilled 5 new bowling balls, and I asked him why.
My problem is the ball, once it gets a track in it, it wants to hook early on me, and I don't like to throw the ball real hard. I like to control the speed, get the ball to react to where I want it to on the lane. And by using a new surface, I get the ball farther down the lane and get it to roll on the back end rather than roll early. And the condition we're bowling on here is tendency to roll early, so it helped me this week by having 5 new balls.
And what he means by rolling early, Chris, the wear area where the ball rolls on the surface of the lane gets scratched up quite a bit and increases the surface friction of the ball. Earl gets a brand new ball out with no wear on it, a nice new shine, and he feels it rolls truer down the lane surface.
Earl Anthony trying to win his first U.S. Open title, trailing by 31, spare working, shooting in the 6th frame, final game. Dancing pins giving Anthony a strike in the 6th.
Here's the angle of Earl Anthony, right down approximately the 2nd arrow from the left channel, and a perfect hit. Watch the 4 take out the 7. Nice and neat. Notice how Earl just keeps that pins in play. He doesn't blast them off there as like the Joe Berardi. Keeps them nice and low, just enough. You don't need to overpower them.
An event formerly called the All-Star, won 4 times by Dick Weber and Don Carter. And Joe Berardi, looking for his first win, has put 5.
Tell you what, Berardi's never won before, and he doesn't act like he's a bit timid about it. He's going out there. He's going at a 2:39 pace right now, 41-pin lead over Earl Anthony. Wow. If he hits this one in there, there's not much Earl can do. He'll have to go to the wall.
There you have a six-bagger for the 24-year-old, born in the Bronx, bowling out of Pearl River, New Jersey. Earl Anthony is up, trailing by 51 with a strike up, shooting in the 7th.
Earl, every frame is a must-strike situation. 4 frames left, his back to the wall, trails by 51. Strike working.
Leaving the 3.
Earl Anthony is not out, but he's definitely down. First bad shot he's thrown the whole match. Walks back a little disconsolate, to say the least. But he wants to win this one. Best he can shoot now is a 229 game.
119. The sets and the spare. 7th appearance on our telecast this year. And it's the first player this year to be the top-seeded bowler going into the telecast in 4 tournaments.
He only has 1 win to show from that, though, Chris.
It's a tough spot.
Definitely is. You either have it or you don't. Today, Earl is struggling.
Strike in the 8th. And Berardi up with 6 in a row, shooting in the 8th frame, final game.
Berardi asking for another re-rack. Apparently, he sees something wrong with this right-hand lane, but the way he's scoring has not many problems. If he throws a strike on this ball, Chris, it's just lights out. He will be in the Firestone. Couture will be out.
There's Debbie.
It's not over yet.
Now 4, 6, and 10.
Joe Berardi, leaving the 4, 6, 10, has possibly opened the door. The situation becomes this. Berardi will just go for the count, or the wood, the 6, 10. But he needs to mark in the 9th and 10th frame to shut out Earl Anthony. It's not over. Here's Berardi's situation with that open frame. Through 8 frames, he has 195, working at a 235 pace. All he needs is spares in the 9th and 10th to shut out Earl. The best Earl can do is 229, but it's not over.
He's on the left lane.
Wow, good break. Just broke up the 4-6 again. Could not seem to close the door on Earl. But the situation is still this. If he makes a spare and marks in the 10th, he will win. Earl Anthony must strike out, though, to have any chance.
All right, there's the spare in the 9th for Joe Berardi, who defeated Pete Couture in the previous game, 213 to 199, to get here against the tournament leader, Anthony, with strike in the 8th, shooting in the 9th.
If Earl does not strike on this ball, Joe Berardi is the new U.S. Open champion. Earl must strike on this ball, the 10th and the 11th, to have any chance.
And he is
Still
up to it.
alive. Situation becomes this. Earl with a strike in the 10th and 11th. 2 more strikes forces Joe Berardi to mark. If Earl fails to strike on either one of these balls, it's all over again.
31 titles. Nope. 3-5 for Earl Anthony in this final game.
It's all over. Couture's out of the Firestone. Berardi's in. What a way to go. 21,000, the smile on his face, and a major title.
And Earl, of course, now going for the 3-5 on the left lane. Chops the 5 off the 3, and would you believe a 195 has happened so often to the tournament leader waiting in the wings, Joe Berardi. First victory, and it coming in one of the major championships of all of bowling, as Dick Richards, the president of the BPAA, and Chief Wapinski, the executive director of the BPAA, they're in the blue coats, looking, and now Debbie Berardi with a tear in her eye. Tears of happiness.
Berardi just finishing up. What a way to go. What a fun frame that is. Little tears coming to Joe's eye. What a nice young man, and look at him appreciate it. There's the cry of victory. You can wait a lifetime and never experience that. What a great feeling that is.
Well, Nelson, you were the gracious, dignified, defending United States Open champion, and now it's Berardi. So we'll be talking with this 24-year-old who shot a 232 to Earl Anthony's 195, is the Open champion. A first major title, a 232 to Earl Anthony's 195, and who said 140-pounders can't be tough? Joe Berardi.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. It's just been an honor to win this title. It's actually just, I can't believe it right now that in 2 weeks I get to go to Akron, and I'm just so happy I won my first title. I feel Earl bowled great all week, and it's just that sometimes enviable position, but this time it wasn't so enviable. So maybe next time Earl will win.
I heard you make a comment a moment ago on our, down at the end of the lanes, they have banners of winners, and that, your banner being up, you said meant as much to you as the 21,000.
Well, yeah, a title means so much, and this is a great one to win, and I'd like to thank everybody from the BPAA and just thank them so much for having a tournament so nice and now especially so wonderful as this.
Well, they'd like to thank you as we bring in the president of the Bowling Proprietors Association of America, our friend from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Dick Richards. Dick.
Thank you, Chris. My congratulations, Joe. And on behalf of the Bowling Proprietors Association, I'd like to give you this check of $21,000. And really, I've got to say, for 4,000 bowling proprietors, we're extremely proud to have you as our champion. Thank you so much.
Now let's bring in Debbie Berardi. Come here, Debbie. Thank you, Dick.
Oh, I can't believe it. Finally.
Now, one final little touch. A defending champion was our colleague Nelson Burton Jr., who is now for 12 months known what the U.S. Open title means, just as Jack Nicklaus knows in golf, Byron Nelson, and all the other greats. Come here, Bo.
Well, thank you, Chris. I'd like to really congratulate Joe. He's a great young player. When he was 18 years old, 18 a long time ago for me, he went with me to bowl in a cancer fund tournament when he didn't have any money or anything. He donated his time, and I knew this was a great young man. And I know the thrill of winning the U.S. Open is one of the really great tournaments in the game of bowling, and it couldn't have happened to a nicer young guy. He's starting right at the top. The next title is just a little easier. Congratulations, Joe.
Thank you, Bo, very much.
And, Joe, I know that you're a great product of junior bowling.
Oh, yeah. I started off in junior bowling and eventually worked my way up to the tour, but it benefited me quite a bit.
Little pasta tonight, Debbie, Joe?
No, I think I'm going to take my wife out to eat for once.
Well, you can have pasta. See you all later. Congratulations, Debbie, and Joey.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, the final score, 232, Joe Berardi, Earl Anthony, 195. Winner of the $125,000 BP